Hey, y'all. Welcome back to Writing Wednesdays. My name is Mariesa. For those who are new, for those who are joining us for the first time, this is Writing Wednesdays, our journaling session number 8. For those who have been with us before, welcome back. Y'all, can you believe we have gone through 8 journaling sessions? Time is truly flying. Today's journaling session is very, very special because we are coming to the end of the year. We're in the holiday season. Things are rushed. There's a lot of noise, a lot of chaos going on. So, as this year comes to a close and we're leaning into this Christmas season, I want us to just slow down for a moment. So many times we can get caught up in what's going on that we don't truly reflect and see how far we have come this year. I have good news for you. You have made it through 100% of your bad days, and we owe it all to Jesus. So, before the next year comes, before 2026 rolls in, and I really can't believe that we are getting ready to enter into 2026. I feel like I just said Happy New Year for 2025. But before we cross over, God willing, into 2026, I want us to look back and I want us to recognize Jesus. So that's what our writing prompt today is going to be. It's going to be one of reflection. The good news is you can reflect at any time. You don't have to say, "Oh, that's the Christmas one. I don't need to watch that one or I don't need to journal that." You can reflect at any time. So really, this journal prompt is timeless. But without further ado, let's get in it. Okay, so here we are, prompt number 8. And I cannot promise that I'll make it through this without being emotional because this year, and here I start already, but this year has been heavy for me and my family. I'm sure you've walked through some things, but one thing that I can say is that God has been faithful. So, for journaling prompt number 8, as you reflect over the year, where did you recognize Jesus walking with you in joy, in struggle, or in the quiet spaces between? So, just take a moment and pause this video. Take a deep breath and write from your heart. I know this one is just a little bit heavy, and I understand that. But I truly believe if you take a moment to just write and just write, like I said, from your heart, I feel that you will find healing. You will be able to maybe release some tears. Some tension may come off of your shoulders. There are some beautiful things that can happen in this space right now where you are. As I always say, let your writing be your voice, whether it be the glue that holds you together or a safety net allowing you to fall apart. So take a moment, pause this video, write, and return. So, as we do each week, we take a deeper dive into our prompts. We don't just leave it as our prompt, we have deeper reflection questions that go along or accompany our prompt. So for the first one, enjoy. Where did you experience laughter, gratitude, or celebration? And how did you see Jesus present in those moments? Take a moment, pause, and write. In struggle, what was hard this year? And how did Jesus sustain, protect, or carry you through it? And here's where I'm going to talk just a little bit. I have not really talked about it much, but this year I lost my brother, my one and only brother, my big brother, unexpectedly. And we are close to 5 months out from him passing away. He was supposed to visit me where I am. He lived 8.5 hours away from where I live. The day that he passed away was actually the day that he was supposed to be coming to visit me. Instead of him coming to visit me, he went home to be with Jesus. And that has been my biggest struggle this year. However, Jesus has sustained me to the point where he has allowed me to see his hand even in my brother's death. And so for me, that's how I have seen him protect me. I have seen him carry me through it. I have seen his hand more powerfully through my brother's death than with most of my other experiences. It has been one of trauma. I am still in a grieving season now, but the way that God's hand has sustained me, like I could not be more grateful for how it happened, even though it was unexpected. The awareness that God gave me that I needed to allow myself to grieve and just to step back and allow Him to heal me. And no, I'm not fully healed, and I understand that, but I am in the healing process. But just the fact that God would create an awareness in me that allowed me to give myself time to understand that my brain is processing a trauma, just to see how God has created that awareness in me and to see how God has healed me in those places that I've hurt. That has been so powerfully, and it speaks volumes to God's sovereignty. And I am so grateful for my God, Jehovah Rapha, the God who heals. I am so grateful that He has met me in those places. So I don't want to prolong this, but I wanted to just give you just a little bit of story time here, because I know that death is one of those things in which sometimes it can create a place where we choose to lean away from God. And I understand that we have questions, but God can handle our questions. On the other hand, sometimes death will create a space where we say, I have no choice but to trust you. I have no choice but to lean in. So, wherever you are in that, while you're writing, I want to encourage you to really look back. Sometimes we don't know or cannot feel God's hand while we're in the struggle. But looking back, it is evident that His fingerprint is all throughout the thing, that His hand was on us and was carrying us through the whole time. I don't know if you're familiar with the poem Footprints, but they talk about how there were two sets of footprints in the sand. And then all of a sudden, the person sees one hand or one set of footprints. And they ask God, how come you left me during those hard times? And God simply says, and I'm paraphrasing, it was in those struggles, it was in those times that you only see one set of footprints in the sand. Those were the times that I carried you. And I cannot tell you, here I go. I cannot tell you how grateful I am that God has literally carried me through those hard times. Like um I'm going to talk about it formally later, but I cannot tell you how grateful I am that God knew what I needed, and He knows what you need when you need it. He is truly Elroy. He is the God who sees you, and He is the God who hears you. He is the God who knows you. He knows even if you're struggling right now, He knows exactly what you need. He will send people to you to speak a word to encourage you. You may receive a phone call. You may receive someone telling you how they've gone through the same thing. So He may allow them to walk alongside you. I just don't want you to be discouraged if in struggle you don't feel God yet. I don't want you to be discouraged because He is there. You're listening to someone who has been through some things. And while I received the news of my brother, I remember falling flat on my face and saying, God, I do not feel your hand in this. I do not see you. I do not feel you right now, but I know you're here. So during that time when I was laying there The hands of my family, I felt them praying over me. And I just want you to be encouraged that even if you don't feel God's hand or you don't see how He could do such a thing or how He would allow such a thing to happen, let me just reassure you that He is there and His hand is working. So I didn't mean to go all the way off into this tangent, but I feel so strongly that someone needs to know that during this season of reflection while you're writing, I just want you to know that He is there and He hears you and He sees you and He will never leave you nor forsake you. I just want you to know that. So back to our regularly scheduled program. In struggle, what was hard this year? And how did Jesus sustain, protect, or carry you through it? All right, I had to get myself together. Our next reflection question says, in the quiet, where did you feel His presence in ways you didn't expect? Through peace, rest, or stillness? And I know sometimes it's hard for us to be quiet and to allow the weight of what we've gone through and the weight of reflection to just sit with us or for us to just sit in it. I understand how difficult that is, but is necessary. Where did you feel His presence in those times in ways that you didn't expect? Was there a moment when you realized He was walking with you even though you felt alone? Was there a moment when you realized He, God, was walking with you even though you felt alone? What does recognizing His presence now change about how you view this year? Maybe while you were going through whatever it is that you were going through, you didn't recognize His presence, as we talked about before. But how, when you look back, how does recognizing His presence change about how you view this year? What do you want to carry into the next season because of how He walked with you this year? For me, I want to carry the awareness of His sovereignty. At one point in time, I said, oh, well, God's sovereign. He's going to do what He wants to do anyway. So why pray? That was during a very dark and difficult season, which I write about in my first book, Are You Living Your Best Dash? But as I've come to know God's sovereignty all the more, and I've studied it out, but not just studied it and applied it to my head knowledge, I have experienced it and applied it to my heart that God's sovereignty is powerful. I like it to call it the umbrella of God's sovereignty because there are things that I don't understand. But when I put them under the sovereignty of God, and I surrender those things that I don't understand and I lay them at His feet, it frees me and gives me a freedom that is unexplainable. So I want to carry that into next year, just the awareness and to recognize God's sovereignty in situations. I don't know what it is for you, but what do you want to carry into the next season because of how God has walked with you this year? So you should know by now that I love to encourage and challenge you. So for this week's challenge, I want you to write a reflection prayer. Thank Jesus for walking with you, for staying close to you when you didn't notice, for carrying you when you couldn't carry yourself. So write that reflection prayer. Pray with it and sit with it. Some scriptures that may help guide your reflection prayer are Luke 2:15 through 20, Psalm 23, which we know, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want, and Matthew 28:20. These may, help your or guide your prayer. Just wanted to put that out there. You don't have to use them. They are, simply for you if you want them. So next time, I cannot believe it, y'all. We have author interview number 9. I'm excited about this interview just like I am all the rest of them. We have encountered some very phenomenal writers and authors over the past several weeks, and this week will be no different. We have another wonderful author. I'm not going to get too far into it, but join us next time, especially if you are an aspiring author yourself or you know someone who is, share this with them. And then we're going to come back the week after next and we are going to bring the 2026 new year in with a January kind of goal setting writing prompt. So I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. Make sure you take the time to subscribe and share this journaling prompt with those you love.